Welcome back to Dadskillz. We've got another brochure review today, and we've got the Rover SD1.
Leyland call it the car for tomorrow, today. And their massive £95 million investment in this one model and in the Solihull plant that make it have resulted in a David Bache-styled saloon that really is ahead of its time.
2300, 2600, 3500. So let's start with this. Got a couple of different brochures, and they're both quite nice. They both got pull-out bits and look, top of the range V8 with a beautiful sunset behind it. So here we go. In this one we've got, oh, this must be a bit later, this one. I wonder if it's got a date on it. Not that I can see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different models in this one. And there they are there. So we've got the base model, the 2300. Car of the year 1977. And it's one of those truly British stories of defeat from the jaws of victory, really. Such a groundbreaking car when it was launched. Rave reviews. Look, it's got stuff about its drag coefficient here. Rover sets new standards in design. Rover sets new standards in quality. Well, we'll come to that in a moment. So it's such a groundbreaking car, and groundbreaking looks, really. This is before the Sierra J mould was launched, and we've gone from a P6 to this SD1, which is totally different. And as I say, it got rave reviews. People loved it. In focus groups and things, it was seen to be quite an expensive car. People thought, yeah, that's an expensive car. And so initially it was just the V8, and then for the fleet market job, they launched a whole different load of engines that suited the fleet market. So it's a stunning thing. You see in this model we've got this sort of, what is that? Is that Draylon? What is that? A sort of a fabric-y look. It's a great big armrest in the middle at the back, headrests, electric windows there, look. Electric windows. And there's the choke, and it was kind of modular, so to swap it from left to right drive was really easy, because this sort of thing, this binnacle here, you can just pop it over to that side. So there we go, we've got manual, auto. Here we've got some crash testing, rolling it over, and they've probably crashed the front end there. And we've got these what must have been at the time some quite modern design of dash lights and things. I kind of remember these cars as, I think they were called jam sandwiches, weren't they, at the time, police cars. Right, here we are. So here we are, we're actually starting the ranges here. It's quite a nice brochure, really. The 2300. So we've got door mirrors that you can move yourself. We've got an ashtray there by the look of it. Stainless steel tread strips. And then we've got 4-speed manual, 114 miles an hour, 0 to 60 just over 10 seconds, and then we've got some MPGs. And you get 17.5 in urban driving, crikey. And there she is. This is our base model. The 2300S is an invaluable newcomer in the Rover range. Good economy, really. Power assisted steering, comprehensive instrumentation, velvet upholstery, central locking in this one, lumbar support, stainless steel wheel trims. And there she is. So we've got the 2600S, powered by a slightly modified version of the straight 6 engine. Modifications produce 136 brake horsepower. So here we've got a slightly higher top speed, and we've shaved almost 2 seconds off the 0 to 60 time. We're well under 10 seconds now, we're at 9 seconds. And the fuel economy is slightly better too. There she is. She's a pretty beast. She really is. And here we have, towards the topmost range of the models, we've got the 3500. So this will be the V8. So as you probably know, it's the aluminium block that was the Buick V8 that they consigned to the scrap bin because it had reliability issues. So Rover bought the rights and the tooling for this V8 engine. And I'm always amazed at how little power they managed to get from this engine. I think it's, there we go, 155 brake horsepower from a V8 engine. You'd be struggling these days to even get that low, wouldn't you, in a V8 engine? Maximum speed, 122. And we're only ever so slightly faster than the 2600 here. 0 to 60, 8.9 seconds. 2600 was 9 seconds. And we're down to an urban MPG of 16.2. So we've got quite a nice interior, plush interior. We've got fog lamps. We've got cast alloy wheels. And there it is. Now this is the top range. The Vanden Plas or the Vanden Pla, however you fancy saying it. Automatic. Look at these leather seats, they look fantastic. We've still got an analog clock. We've got a tape in our tape player. By the look of it, there is a place for a tape in there. Don't think there was in the other one. And then we've got these sort of, look at these pop-on headrest backs. You'd probably move those to the front, can you? Electric windows. It looks like here we've got, oh look, a release catch for the boot maybe. Cruise control. Electric demist mirrors. So there wouldn't be many cars with that at the time. Electric sunroof. Look at those seats, they look fantastic. Hairline woven velvet upholstery. So when these were released, the order book was full. And so what did the workforce decide to do? Go on strike. And at the time they were striking because inflation was rampant and they wanted their wages to keep up with inflation, which is something that is quite topical at the moment actually. So it's funny how things go around and come around again. So they could barely keep up with the demand. A power washer for your headlamp, although I don't see any wiper there, so it just washed it. Inertia reel seat belts, the kind of climate control, early climate control there. Although you got to remember the Americans had all this sort of thing like tens and tens of years ago before this. And here we've got some optional extras in each class. So the Vanden Plas, no extra cost, comes with the 5-speed box. But in the 2300, the 5-speed box is an optional extra. Power steering, Dunlop tyres. Right, all these things are extra. Fog lamps, and they must come as standard in those two. Super cover. Even if you never need it, it's good to know you've got it. Applicable only to vehicles used within the UK. Super cover has been created with all the backing and resources of Austin Morris, Jaguar Rover Triumph, to provide an unparalleled combination of advantages for BL motorists, British Leyland. So from what was such a strong start and what could have been such a rosy future for Rover and BL in general, and could have been a really good money maker. We've talked about how the workforce went on strike, and so when you're on strike you're not making cars, you're not selling cars. And then there were a couple of reviews of the SD1 that absolutely obliterated it. Went to town on it for poor finish. Some of the doors were so far out that you could see light coming through. It was back to poor fit and finish that BL had become known for. So that was another sort of nail in the coffin. So this must be a bit earlier than that one, I think, because we've got the new tradition of design. So here we've got some of the guys that designed it. We've got Spen King, John Lloyd, and then there is David Bache, and he designed stuff like the P5, certainly the P6, had a hand in the Range Rover. So he was a design behemoth, as it were, in the 60s and 70s. And here they talk about the philosophy. Simple is beautiful. Aerodynamics mean more than good looks. Elegance in space and comfort. Engineering at its simple best. And that's quite true, actually, because whereas the car design was quite groundbreaking, and it looks a stunning car, really, and that's why the public fell in love with it. The actual engineering, dead straightforward stuff, really. The new tradition. So we got a new factory. 85 million to build, is equipped with the most advanced machinery and monitoring systems in the world, featuring modern, enjoyable working conditions. It was so enjoyable that everyone walked out and went on strike. And there we go, some test stages. A new tradition of reliability. There we go, body protection, body under seal. And for all that, it's still rusted like any good BL should. We've got some sort of diagnostic system now, where we can plug something into, see what's happening. Quite a basic diagnostic system. So even back then, Dunlop have developed a run flat type tyre. So it's got inline stability during a blowout. The ability to drive up to 100 miles at 50 miles an hour before you need to repair it. And then here, this is interesting, we've got some crash test dummies that have got simulated head injuries. The fascia and the steering wheel head restraints. The windscreen itself will flex under head impact. So after the test, the simulated head on the right dramatically proves the safety value of the XXX 10/20 glass in an accident. So there we go. The safety bag of the 70s was the windscreen.
Designing for safety, our engineers are just about the only people who intentionally crash cars. Leyland engineers go to extremes to protect the occupants should the worst happen. Mathematical representations of the mass and structural stiffness of a car can be analysed by computers to predict what will happen in an accident. There is less need for costly destruction testing. There's no need to build prototypes to test the effect of changing the engine's position, seatbelt anchorage points, or body component stiffness.
You can stow quite a lot of luggage in the back there. Golf clubs, look, for the middle management. Down here, look, cast alloy wheels. 195/70s. I'm sure they were big wheels at the time. But even my van has got wider tyres now. Jaguar Rover Triumph Limited. We've got the BL roundel there, look. Well, that was another interesting look at some more old brochures of old British cars. Things that have now gone down in the annals as a great looking car, but not without its flaws and a victim of its moment in time, really, with all the industrial action and poor build quality. So if you've enjoyed that, YouTube will recommend a very similar video to this in a moment. But until the next time, I'll see you again. Cheers.
Still, it's all British. And it remains our star car of the show for 1976. A very good car indeed.